be doing shoulders, shoulder external rotation primarily, and then if we have a little bit of time, we may spend some time doing shoulder flexion, but I think, well, the external rotation will fill, external rotation and global full shoulder rotation will fill up most of the time in the class. For your recommended equipment, you'll want to have a stick, broomstick, this kind of long wooden dowel, any long stick where you can kind of get your arm going like this. Any position like this will work. So a stick, I have a light dumbbell or lacrosse ball to be used as a tension object for our high tension or weighted cars at the end. And then also I have a heavy immovable dumbbell, immovable from this position here, that we'll use to do some external shoulder rotation, eccentric. So you see as my body weight's tipping, tension's going through my shoulder, and this has to be heavy enough so that it doesn't lift. So a heavy dumbbell or the bottom of a couch, something like that. If you don't have either of those handy, you can do these standing on like the edge of a wall, and you'll just have to be a little bit more mindful of generating your own torque and tension through those tissues rather than using your body weight. So that is all. If you're live, feel free to unmute yourself at any time or just type it out in the chat. I'll be monitoring that if you have any questions or need any modifications on the exercise. Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll go ahead and dive in. We're going to be doing our neck cars. Actually, let's skip neck cars. We'll do spine cars, scap car, and shoulder cars, and then we'll move into the rest of the work. So for our spine cars, quick refresher, we're moving kind of mostly our T-spine through its full rotational range of motion. So we have flexion, we have a little bit of rotation, right? We're going to rotate around the backside, and that's really fast. Actually, I'll demo it a little bit slower. You have your arms across your chest. We'll move around our T-spine into flexion, right? So kind of this mid-spine, round it forward into flexion, getting as round as possible without bending forward at the hips. Just T-spine. Once you max out that flexion, you'll want to rotate. So hold flexion and rotate. Get as much rotation as you can. Once you've maxed out that rotation, we're going to move. I know when we fine-tune it a little bit, we like to get that lateral bend, but for today, we'll just hold rotation and move into extension. So I'm arching. I'm not going to lean back, but again, I'm trying to arch through that T-spine. Rotate, holding that spinal extension. Rotate over to the other side. Holding that extension and rotation to the other side. Once I've maxed that out, I'm going to round back forward while holding rotation into flexion to middle, and you can continue in the same direction for 30 seconds. I'll call out halfway. We're going to do 60 seconds, or you can just go back the other way. So you're going to just be tick-tocking back and forth. Either way, whatever feels right for you, whether it's tick-tocking back and forth or going all one way, and then I'll call out halfway, and then all the other way, up to you. So we'll go spine cars 60 seconds, and then we'll move to scapular cars. So here we go, 60 seconds on the clock, arm across chest, ready and begin. And this isn't about how fast you can go, how many you can do. It's about taking that T-spine through as much range as you can. Get as much range. Only using your T-spine. As much range without gaining range from twisting the hips. Leaning, just moving that T-spine. We're at the halfway point now. So if you've been going all in one direction, just switch and go the other way. Try to feel your spine moving what muscles are creating that movement in the spine. Feel that motion, feel those muscles, isolate those muscles. And time, we'll move into our scapula car. So now we're going to move our scapulas, right, our shoulder blades, through their full kind of range of motion. So we're just thinking there's kind of a couple primary motions for your scapula, right? You have elevation, where you're bringing those scaps up, depression, where you're bringing them down, protraction, and retraction. There's also some tilts in there, but we won't really fine-tune it in getting all the tilts, but in getting those kind of four cardinal movements, you'll get some of the tilts and stuff as we're working that. So we have those four movements: elevation, depression, protraction, and retraction, and you're kind of combining those 4 points into a big oval. So we're not thinking kind of boxy, right, where we're elevating, depressing, protracting, retraction, but we're combining elevation, elevation and retraction, retraction and depression, depression and protraction forward. So we're just combining those points, moving those shoulder blades in as big a range of motion on the rib cage as possible. So in the front, they're rounding, kind of reaching around forward. Elevation, they're going up. Depression, they're sliding down. Retraction, they're coming together towards the back of that rib cage. So let's go ahead and get started. Same thing, 60 seconds on the clock, all one way, all the other, or tick-tocking back and forth. For these, personally, I like all one way, and then switching. So, but totally up to you, whatever you're feeling. 60 seconds on the clock, ready, and begin. And just as we talked about with the T-spine cars, think of getting all of that movement just from the shoulder blades. So as I'm coming forward, I'm not bringing my arms all the way forward. It's just the shoulder blades. As I'm coming back, I'm not bending my arms to squeeze back. I'm trying to get just scapular motion there. And switch directions if you're going all in one way. And same thing, we're not trying to arch the rib cage or bring the neck forward. It's just the scapula as much as you can. Feeling what muscles are creating that movement. If it's not super smooth now, that's okay. You're learning to move those scapulas, and kind of your mind is making those mental connections. Just focus on trying to get a slow, smooth, isolated movement. And that's time. All right, we'll move into our full shoulder car. So we're taking our shoulder through its full rotational range of motion. Quick demo for the shoulder car. We're going to be moving our shoulder through adduction, flexion, internal rotation, and extension, and then kind of going through some of that abduction as well. So just think that you have a dot on the front half, think you have a dot on the inside of your bicep. Try to turn that continuously, tension, and trying to turn that dot up on the whole front side up. So as I come through adduction, coming up through that shoulder flexion, I'm always twisting, trying to get up. Once I get to here, my max shoulder flexion, whether it's here, whether it's back here, without involving spine or rib cage, right? So I'm just going to try to isolate that shoulder, get as much flexion as I can. Once I hit that kind of wall, I'm going to internally rotate. So that I take that dot, turn it down as I reach back into extension. Continually turning internal rotation on that whole back side till my arm comes down to my side, and then I reverse it. So I'm holding internal rotation, coming back. Once I hit that wall going this way in extension, external rotation, reaching end of my range of motion, around and down. So a giant circle using just the shoulder. Try not to use shrug your traps or twist your body. Just shoulder in that shoulder socket. 60 seconds on the clock. You can go all in one direction, all forward and then all backwards, whatever feels right for you. Tick-tocking back and forth, or all in one direction and switching. Personally, I don't have a preference for this one. Ready and begin. 60 seconds. And we're trying to get to the edge of our range of motion. So if you're always trying to hit that edge or pushing for just a little bit more using the shoulder, you'll make sure to get to that edge. If you just go to where you think your body can go, you might be coming up a little bit short. So always try to hit the edge of that range. Switch directions. If you're going one direction, we're passing that halfway point. And you don't have to keep pace with me on any of these exercises. I want you to feel what feels right for your body and try to feel and connect to your tissues and work the muscles and tissues that we're trying to work. And whatever best way that is for you, feel free to explore and do that. We'll switch sides. Other arm, 60 seconds, and begin. Try to keep that arm straight and locked out. A lot of times that if the shoulder's a little tight, the arm is going to want to bend here. Try to keep it locked out and just get whatever range you can without any kind of compensation. Passing that halfway point. So if the range is smaller right now, that's okay. But the more we train with compensations, the more we will have to compensate to get those motions. So the more we train without it, the better we will get at moving the shoulder without compensating. So our body kind of gets better at whatever we train. If we train it to have compensations, we'll have to keep using compensations. If you train it to isolate and do what it needs to do without compensations, then it'll get better at doing that. And time. All right. So we'll move on to some capsule cars, which is just kind of rotating that shoulder right on its axis within that capsule. So we're in the shoulder joint, and just imagine your upper arm bone rotating back and forth. Again, without compensation, no traps, so you're just rotating down as far as you can go, rotating back, and we're going to do 75 seconds. Over the 75 seconds, you're just going to explore all the different ways that your shoulder can rotate in that socket. So it not only rotates here, but you can rotate in here, right? You can rotate up here, it can rotate. So this is all internal and external rotation, in different planes of shoulder movement, flexion, abduction, extension, so on and so forth. So just play with the different zones as you're rotating that shoulder. So the more different zones that our shoulder can internally and externally rotate, the better our shoulder is going to move. Work that 75 seconds. And I know we like to have tension at the ends, right? Find that end, squeeze for more tension. Find the end, squeeze for more tension. I also want tension through the mid-range. So it's not just get to the end and squeeze, get to the end here and squeeze, but we want tension all the way through. So imagine there's a band that you have to pull and rotate back as you go back. And then there's a band coming this way that you have to pull forward as you're rotating forward. So pull that band in both directions. We're not actually pulling a band, but just imagine, right? I'm here, I'm pulling the string, boom, then I'm pulling down. Tension through the shoulder, through the full range of motion. explore zones. You don't have to follow me. Explore different areas for what feels good for your shoulder, feels like it needs training. 75 seconds, ready and begin. The main thing that I ask is that you try to complete the movements without compensating. So pure rotation of that upper arm bone as you can. Whatever zone you're working in, whatever zone you choose. You need to go back. Try to keep those wrists straight as you're working. Concentrate on getting that rotation as high up on the shoulder as you can. Pulling that band, tension all the way through. 15 seconds. Really try to fatigue those shoulders as you're working this tension. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time, grab your stick, and all of these movements, you don't have to be kneeling like me. You can be seated, you can be standing, whatever is comfortable. Same thing for this stick, but we're going to interlace. So put that stick behind kind of your upper arm and interlace your arm behind it. And if you noticed any of those angles in that capsule car that really felt like they needed some work in that angle. So find a good angle that you want to work some external rotation where you really feel that shoulder tissue stretching or the backside tissue squeezing. Find a good position for yourself, whatever that may be. And we're gonna ramp up using this stretching tissue to contract and try to rotate that shoulder forward against our stick. So if I'm back here, I'm locked in with this hand, or I just have it up on my hip and I'm trying to push forward like that using all of this stretching tissue. I'm keeping it right in here. I'm not rounding forward, I'm pulling, just using this tissue, rotating, squeezing, sending force forward into that stick. We're gonna ramp up and then we're gonna hold for a 30-second max. So at about 30 seconds, you should be feeling like, whoa, I'm getting tired, I can't push anymore, right? I don't wanna get to 30 seconds and feel like, hey, I can push for another 2 minutes. We wanna be hitting that fatigue mark at 30 seconds, then we'll squeeze the other way. So squeezing that backside tissue right in here, squeezing back there to try to get off of the stick. It's an isometric, so nothing will move. Forward looks just the same as backwards, right? So here I'm pushing forward, squeezing all of this stuff. Then I'm going backwards. I don't move position, I'm squeezing all that backside stuff. So here we go. Get in your position. Feel that tissue and start sending force through it into the stick. If you're feeling it in your elbow, change position or take off some of that rotation. That means it's going a little too far for your shoulder. So keep it in that shoulder tissue. Keep ramping, medium and strong. 30-second max begins. Squeeze. Feel all of that front side tissue working. 20 seconds to go. Big push. Try to fatigue it out. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, freeze in that exact same position and reverse direction. Squeeze backside. Squeeze, try to get your hand off of that stick now. Squeeze backside shoulder, squeeze. 20 seconds to go. 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly ease off, and we'll switch sides. Again, scan, find a good position for your shoulder on this side. It may or may not be the same position as your other shoulder, and that's okay. You can play with elbow angle, so you can be in here, you can be out wide, here, 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 all of these kind of variables. Just know that even small changes can really change the force and send it right into your elbow. So just slowly explore. Start with a light force so you feel it in the shoulder first before you start cranking that stretch. So it's really about exploring and finding a good position for yourself to train in. Once we've found that, lock it in. Slowly ramp, keeping force in the target tissues. And 30-second max squeeze. And if you're new to this kind of training, you may not be able to generate enough fatigue to tire out in that 30 seconds, and that's okay. Just focus in and focus on keeping the force in your target tissues. And as you gain more experience, your body will let you start sending more force through those tissues where you can actually kind of fatigue yourself out in that time. 3, 2, 1, and reverse. Squeeze, backside shoulder stuff. Squeeze it. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly ease off. And we'll go back to capsule cars. So we're going to go 60 seconds again. See if those pails and rails that we just did kind of made anything feel a little bit different. We're only going 60 seconds, so let's ramp up that tension a little higher. So pull on the band, that imaginary band. Pull on it harder. Pull on it harder each way. More tension, more rotation in the shoulders. 60 seconds. Ready and begin. Still playing with different angles. Isolating only upper arm rotating in your shoulder socket. Big squeezes. Feel it working. Explore. Play. 30 seconds to go. Squeeze. Just feel that force. Both sides of the shoulder. Squeezing down. Squeezing back. Big tension. You can even hold the squeeze and move your shoulders around as you're squeezing. So kind of exploring different zones, different ways of moving and using your shoulder. Arm angles. And time. All right. We're going to move on to the next exercises here. This is going to be the eccentrics. So now we're working with the dumbbells. Eccentrics is just loading your muscles to a stretched position. So from contracted to stretched, I'll show you first with the dumbbell, and then I'll demo if you're not using some kind of, if you're not going on the ground, if you're doing the standing version. So I'm keeping kind of tucked into my side here, and essentially all that's happening is I'm moving from here right to an external shoulder rotation position. So I'm tucked in here, I'm locked in. I'm first trying to push, trying to lift this up. So I'm starting off with tension in that shoulder. So I'm pulling in, and then I start using my body weight to rotate away from that shoulder, and all of that tension should be going into shoulder here, rotator cuff, and then I'll just reset. I'm not going to pull myself up. I just kind of push, use my feet, use my body, get myself reset, get tension into that shoulder again, and slowly start twisting. You can manage your force by using your leg, using an arm, but making sure all of that force stays in the shoulder as you're doing this. Again, you could be on a dumbbell, you could be on a couch, small coffee table. If we don't have this, you can go right up on the wall, right on the corner of a wall. Same thing, I'm generating tension, I'm pushing into that wall, right? Imagine I'm on the edge, the door's closed right now, but I'm holding that, and then I'm twisting away, feeling that tension through the shoulder. What we'll want to do is about somewhere between 4, 5, 6 seconds to get from here to the end range position. So just a slow twist into that end range, big force, come back down, big force. We're going to go 90 seconds. I won't count it for you, so count on your own. It's not super important that it's 4 seconds or 5 seconds. Just kind of slow intention, ideally between 4 and 6, but if you're getting, I would say longer side is better, so don't go fast and just get 2 or 3 seconds. Longer is better, so if you're like 7 seconds, 9 seconds, whatever, that's totally fine, but ideally between 4 and 6. We're going to do 90 seconds, but you're just getting smooth, clean reps at your own pace. So get that tension, pulling up, feel it in the shoulder, in the rotator cuff, and begin. And you don't have to keep pace with me. Feel it in your own shoulder, moving into a stretch, loading as it's moving into a stretch. And if you're feeling it in your elbow, you're either exceeding the load of your shoulder, so you're pushing too hard into that, or you're exceeding the range of your shoulder. So you can push softer and see if you can go just as far, or you can shorten up that range. So maybe instead of going all the way to your back, you're going until just before you start feeling it in your elbow, and you come back up. We've passed the halfway point. Got 30 seconds. Keep working. Keep that tension in those tissues. Ten seconds. Keep it working. 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll switch sides. Use that other arm. And 90 seconds. Nice and tight. Ready and begin. And just like everything else, right, the body position isn't exact, so don't kind of look at me and think, oh, I'm not doing this right, or oh, I need to do it this way. Whatever way, right, even if you have to turn here, maybe feel it better this way. Wherever you can feel that stretch, that force sending through the rotator cuff, in that externally rotated position, is the goal. So sending force through your rotator cuff as you're moving and stretching into an externally rotated shoulder. You've got about 30 seconds left. Feel it in those tissues. That's the important part. Send tension. Send strong tension. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. We are going to move to our loaded shoulder car. So grab your tension object or your light dumbbell. And we're gonna move to 60-second shoulder car. I'll probably do one in the 60 seconds, but again, you don't have to follow me. Just squeeze as much tension as you can. So I'm really trying to twist that shoulder. I'm really trying to push that range here. Everything tight as I can. Strong tension as if I'm moving through cement that's drying. I'm pushing tension through high tension as I can. As much isolation, feeling the rotation of the shoulder, but grab onto whatever a tension object. You have nothing, make a tight fist, as tight as you can. I've got 60 seconds on the clock. Slow, as precise as you can, as smooth as you can, with as much tension as you can. Ready and begin. Get every millimeter of motion possible for that shoulder. Everything else is still like a statue. Nice and tight. Keep that arm up as you move through that extension. Squeeze. Good. Get as much range, as much tension as you can. We're passing halfway. I'm going to move for one more. Big tension, squeeze, work. Seconds left. Finish this one that you're on. Good. And we'll switch sides. Big high tension shoulder car. Range as you can from that shoulder. Try not to draw range from anywhere else. Good. Past the halfway point. I'm going to go one more. Squeeze as much range as you can. Keep working. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. We are going to have some time to work into shoulder flexion. So we'll get our stick again. If you need to come off of the ground, you can do these kind of standing, maybe hand on a chair like this. But we're going to essentially get our shoulder into as much flexion as we can. So I'm going to be on my hands and knees here getting into shoulder flexion. But again, if you want to come off of your knees, you can be here, right? So I'm up, just getting as good shoulder flexion, overhead position. So I'm just getting as much overhead range as I can. The goal is to feel stretch under here. So find a position where you're getting into a stretch on this underside. When you found that, lock yourself in, everything nice and tight. Using this stretching tissue, pull down. So my hand is locked in. I'm not sliding down on the stick. I'm just pushing down like I'm stabbing, shoving a stake into the ground. Ramp up using this underside tissue. Ramp and strong 30-second push. Keep it in this underside stretching stuff. Pull it down. Everything else is frozen. Make sure to have a nice lockout on your arm. We don't want to bend. Try to lock it out, even if you have to change your position, right? We don't want to train that compensation in. Lock out. Get what range you can. 4, 3, 2, freeze in this position, and now try to squeeze your arm up. Lift up and back. Getting into a better overhead position, but I'm already at my end range stretch, so nothing moves. I'm just squeezing back. Squeeze. Top of shoulder and back. Squeezing to lift that arm back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Switch to your other shoulder. Same thing. Get in your best overhead position. And again, I'll kind of demo it upright, but as you're leaning down, getting into flexion, you can be here. You can be at this angle. You can kind of even be out here. Play with the different angles and see if it hits your shoulder or chest. Any of this front and side tissue that you can. Then see what you want to work. And if you have a specific goal, hey, I want to be able to, overhead press a barbell. My shoulders at this range, then of course work in that range. But if you have no specific goals like that, find what tissues need the best work. Get in that position. And keeping it all in the stretching tissue, start pushing down. Drive, and a hard 30 seconds. Push. Keeping it just in that front side tissue. Don't let it go anywhere else. Keep pushing down. We got 15 seconds. Keep pushing. Keep that arm locked out. Use that underside stretching tissue. Keep pushing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Freeze where you are and reverse direction. Squeeze, lifting back. Nothing moves. I'm just squeezing, reversing the direction of the contraction. Squeeze. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release that. We'll lie down on the ground. If you're up and you don't want to absolutely don't want to get back down, and you're doing your standing one, hands on the table, hands on the counter, and we're lifting off. If you're down with me on the ground here, we're just going to go in whatever position our arm was. So if we were straight on here, you're going to lie down straight on. If you're out here, then you're going to lie down with your arms in that position. Whatever position you were in, and it can be different for each arm. So you could have one arm straight, one arm in a V. Whatever position you were in, find that. And we're just going to do lifts. So we're squeezing the same muscles, top side and back side, that we use to lift back. We're going to squeeze those and lift off. Smooth and controlled. Don't jerk it off. Smooth lift. Nice and tight. Ready, tension, tight, and lift. Squeeze, find more range at the top, and control down. 1. Lift. Find your top, fight for more, and control down. 2. Lift. Squeeze. And down for 3. Lift. Squeeze. Down for 4. Lift. Squeeze. 5, lift, squeeze, and 6, lift, squeeze, 7, lift, squeeze, 8, 2 more, lift, squeeze, control down, 9, last one, best one, lift, squeeze, and down for 10. We'll come back, we'll finish it off with one nice smooth shoulder car on each side, and we'll call it a day. Shoulder car externally rotated, nice smooth. This one, we're not having a super high tension, we're just trying to get that shoulder to move nice and smooth. All of that internal, external rotation work we did, flexion work, reverse it, smooth movement of the shoulder. Good, other side. Get that flexion, get that lift off that you just got. Internal rotation, reaching back and around. External rotation, just like your capsule cars. Up, around, and down. Nice job, everybody.